Python online classes. Today we are in Unit 3 Session 2. So agenda of this class: iterative control statements or loop control statements, while loop, for in statement, the range function, nested loops, loop control statements, break statement, continue statement, pause statement. The else statement used with the loops, else statement with for loop and example, else statement with while loop and example. Let's move to the next slide. Iterative control statements. As I said in last class, iterative statements are decision control statement that are used to repeat the execution of list or set or group of statements. So whatever I have a one statement, I want to repeat that particular statement for n number of times. So iteratively. At that time, I need to use a iterative control statements. Python language supports two types of iterative control statements. One is while loop and another one is for loop. Let's move to the next slide. While loop. While loop provides a mechanism to repeat one or more statements while a particular condition is true. So I will write a one condition in the loop block. Until that condition is true, that loop will get iterated. That means the block statements will get executed n number of times until that condition is true. And if the condition tested before any one of the statements in the statement block is executed. So first we will check the condition and thereafter based on the condition we will execute the statements. If the condition is true, only then statement will be executed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, the jump to the next statement which is outside of the while loop. So if condition is while condition is true, then only the particular statements will get executed. If condition is false, what will happen? The next statement out of the loop statement will get executed. So that what's happened with the while loop. Note: if the condition of while loop is never updated and condition never become false, then the computer will run into an infinite loop. That means the condition is false and again the condition is true again and it will not become a false. Then that loop will be iterated n number of times. That we can call it as an infinite loop. The loop will not get terminated. We will see that example in practical session. Next slide. While loop syntax and example. So here is the example as I said in last class. So this is a text expression and I have a while loop body. If this expression is true, this particular body statements will get executed. If this expression is false, it will come out from the loop. The whatever statements are available after the loop, that particular statements are going to get executed. Now here is the syntax of this loop. Sorry. Statement X, it will execute before the loop, and while condition, it will check the condition and then it will execute the statement block. That is nothing but while loop block, it will get executed. And after when condition is false, then it will come to the statement while. That means the loop is ended. So here is the example. Write a Python program to print the first 10 numbers using while loop. So I is equal to 0 initialization, and while I less than or equal to 10. That means I should be less than or equal to 10. Until that, iterate this loop. So first iteration, print I is equal to 0, it will print 0. Thereafter, I is equal to I plus 1, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once I become 11, it will fail. It will come out from the loop. This is what happens with this while loop. Write a Python program to print the first 10 numbers using while loop on the same line. If you want to, don't want to these two lines, you want to have the same line. So here output is in 10 different lines and you want output in the same line, then the syntax is same. But what you need to do here, you need to add one keyword at the end is equal to space. That means the line will not get end. So here output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here what you need to do, I should be started with the 1. And here output is 0 to 10. So we'll check in the practical session. So now we will move to the next slide. For loop. For loop provides a mechanism to repeat a task until particular condition is true. The same thing. So here also it will check the condition. If condition is true, then it will repeat that particular task. For loop known as determined loop because the programmer knows exactly how many times the loop will repeat. So for loop is known as a determined loop. I can know how many times loop will get executed and repeat. The number of times loop has to be executed can be determined mathematically, checking the logic of the loop. So we will see how we can determine number of times its execution using mathematically checking the logic of the loop. So how to write for loop syntax? So for loop syntax can be written in two different ways. The first way using the for in statement and second way is using the range function. So we'll see where we can use for in function statement and where we can use the range statement, range function. It is a looping statement used in Python to iterate over a sequence to iterate over sequence too many spelling mistakes. Yes, okay, don't worry. The number, it's a looping statement used in a Python to iterate over a sequence or list, tuple, string. Then you need to use a for in statement. So whenever you are working with the sequences, list, tuple, string, then you can go with the for in. I will show you the example in next slide. And range function. Range function is a built-in function in Python that used to iterate over a sequence of numbers. So we need to sequence of numbers. If I want to iterate a sequence of number time, then you can use the range function. So syntax of the range, beginning, the starting of the loop, initial value, and ending of the loop, where it should be end, and step size, how many steps it should be move in one iteration. That means incrementation. In previous while loop we have incrementation. Here I is equal to I plus 1. Here we can call it as a step size incrementation. Range provides the sequence of numbers starting with the beginning inclusive and ending 1 less than the number end. So here if I say 0 to 8, then it will start with a 0 and end with the less than 1. That means 0 to 7 only. That means it will go 0 to 7. And next step size is optional. By default it will have the step size as a 1, and you can give any step size value, either it may be positive or negative, but step size should not be a 0. Here I have given the statement step size can be either positive or negative, but it cannot be equal to 0. This is how you need to write a for loop. Either you can use the for in statement or else you can use the range function. We'll see the next slide with examples. So here is the for loop. So for each item in the sequence, it will check the items. Once the last item is reached, then the termination of the loop. Yes, exit of the loop. If no item is not reached, then it will iterate in the for loop, body of the loop. This is what happens with this diagram of for loop. Syntax for value in sequence, body for. So it will give the body for the for. For example, I have something sequence kind of example in this slide, but I will show you in practical session. Here another range using the range function. I in range 1 to 5. That means it will go 1 to 4 only. 5 is exclusive and 1 is inclusive. I and space. It will print 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what happens. Here what I am saying, for I in range 1 to 10, comma 2. That means step value is 2. Because I haven't given any kind of a step value here, it's initially 1 default. Here it will 2. That means each and every item, each and every iteration, it will increment is 2. So first it will print 1 and last 10 minus 1 is a 9. 1 to 9, but the difference between each and every number is 2. That means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Output is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is what happens with this step value. And now I have a for I in range 10, print I in the space. So here I say range 10, I don't have a starting point, but I have an ending point only. I don't have a step value also. Whenever you have only one parameter in the for loop, by default it will take starting parameter as 0 and ending will be 10 minus 1 9 and the step value is default is 1. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so on. And here I have a for I in range 1 to 15, that means starting is 1 and ending is 14. Minus 1, that is 14, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14. This is what happens with the for loop examples. We'll see in the practical session in detail. Now we'll go to the loop control statements. Loop control statements are used to exit from the loop or skip a specific part of the loop when it meets a specific condition. So if I want to exit from a loop or I need to skip a specific part of the loop when condition meet. So at that point of time, I can use loop control statements. In Python, we have three different types of loop control statements. Those are break statement, continue statement, and a pause statement. We'll see each and every one with example. So first definition, break statement. Break can be used to unconditionally jump out of the loop. So I don't give any kind of condition, just I will use the break keyword. That means the loop will be terminated directly without having any conditional. That we can call it as a break. If I say break, the loop will not get executed, it will terminate. Or if I give any condition, and based on the condition, it will terminate the execution of the loop. Break can be used in while loop and for loop. Break can be used in both loops, either in a while loop or in a for loop. Break is mostly required when, because of some external condition, we need to exit from a loop. So some external condition, I don't want to iterate the loop for till that particular condition become true, but I want to exit from the loop in between of the conditions. So at that point of time, you can use the break. So program to using break statement. So here is a I is equal to 1 while I less than or equal to 0, it will print I. If I becomes 5, then break. What I am saying here, when I is equal to 5, then I am coming out from the loop. Otherwise, I is equal to I plus 1. First, what does it do? It will print 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5, it will check this condition. I is equal to 5. Yes, it's true. Then break will be happen and it will exit. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and print completed. Each and every iteration it will check this condition I is equal to 5 equal or not. So first 5 statements it will not equal, but after 5 is printed I is equal to 5 is true, then it will break that particular loop. We'll see example in practical session. So now let's move to the next slide. Continue statement. This statement is used to help Python to skip the rest of the statement of the current loop block and move to the next iteration of the loop. So what does it mean? It will skip the rest of the statements of the current loop and move to the next iteration. That means it will skip the one iteration of the loop. That we can call it as a continue statement. Continue will return back to the control of the beginning of the loop. It will not get terminated from the loop, but it will return back to the beginning of the loop. This can be also used with while and for statement. I can use continue statement with while and as well as I can use continue statement with the for loop. So we'll see example. For I in range 1 to 11, if I is equal to 5, continue. That means whenever I becomes 5, I am saying don't do anything. It's a continue. Otherwise print I. That means 5 will get skipped. I am printing 1 to 11 means 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, here 5 is missing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and later I will get the print completed. This is what happens with this example. Clear? This is continue. Continue statement is skip the condition, skip one iteration from the loop, and remaining all rest of the loop will be executed as it is. Move to the next iteration. Pass statement. Pass statement is used when statement is required syntactically but no command or code has to be executed. I am writing the statement at the syntactically, that statement is required in my code syntactically, but no command or execution should be executed. No statement is. At that point of time, I can use the keyword called pass. Specify null operation or no operation. So pass statement will specify null operation or no operation on statement. Nothing happens when pass statement is executed. So in break statement, what will happen? It will break the loop. It will terminate from the loop. And continue statement, it will skip one iteration in the continue statement. But whenever it's a pass statement, it will not do anything. That means nothing will happen. Now you may get one doubt. When it's nothing is happening, then what is the difference between comment and as well as pass statement? So here is a note. The difference between comment and pass statement is pass is null statement that executed by the interpreter, Python interpreter. Pass statement will get executed but no command is given. But comment is non-executable statement that is ignored by Python interpreter. That's the difference. Pass statement is executed by the interpreter but nothing will happen, and comment is non-executable statement in the Python interpreter. Now we'll see the example of the pass statement. So here I say for letter in hello, so this is equivalent to your for using in for letter in hello, HELLO is a string or sequence string, pass, print pass letter. So that means I am doing pass, nothing will happen, it will not do anything. Pass letter means each and every iteration it will take one letter. So I am getting hello, HELLO, one letter, and done. I said done. So this is what happens with the pass. That means it will not break and it will not continue. It will not skip any iteration, and as well as it will not break the entire loop, but it will do nothing. That we can call it as a pass statement. We move to the next slide. The else statement used with the loop condition. Else statement with the loop condition, it not possible in C and C++, but it's happening, it can be possible in Python programming language. Else statement is executed when the loop has completed iterating. Same as like as if else. If condition is true, then if block will get executed. When condition is false, else block will get executed. Same here also, condition is true until that loop will get executed. Once condition is false, then else block will get executed. And break statement can be used to stop for loop. In such case, the else statement is ignored. Whenever break statement we are using in for loop, the else statement get ignored. Remaining cases for loop, else part is executed if no break occurs. In remaining cases, if I don't have any break, the else part will get executed. Because whenever I say break, else is part of the loop. So loop and else both the things will be ignored. And here whenever I don't use break, then else will be executed loop. We'll see one example. So here else statement with for loop example. I in range, print I and else and done. So I in range 1 to 11, that means it will print 1 to 10. After completion of this thing, it will go to the else block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 and it done else. So that is what happens with the else for loop. And here what I am doing, else with break statement. For I in range 1 to 20, if I is equal to 5, break, print I end, else printing and done. What I am doing here, I1 I am printing, I2 printing, I3 printing, I4 printing. When I becomes 5, I am saying break. That means it will terminate 1, 2, 3, 4 and else block will get ignored because loop is terminated and else is no use. That means I will get a 1, 2, 3, 4 only. And next slide. Else statement with while loop. Else statement with the while loop, the else statement executed when the condition becomes false, same as like as your for loop. And While loop can be terminated with a break statement. In such case, else part is ignored. Same as like as your for loop. Hence, while loop is a else part run if no break occurs and condition become false. Until condition become false, when condition become false, else block will be executed same as like as your for loop. So we'll see the example. I is equal to 1 while I greater than less than 0 print I is equal to I minus 1 else print I is negative, so loop did not execute. So what I am doing here, I is 1, I less than 0, it's a false. False means automatically it will go to the condition. This condition 1 is not negative, so loop will did not execute. Here loop with a break, with break, I is equal to 1 while I less than 10, I is equal to 6. That means it will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until that it will print. When I become 6, I get break, else condition will not get executed. That I will get only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how we can use else statement with the while loop. That's all for PowerPoint presentation. Now we'll see all the concepts example in our Python interpreter with the practical session. So quickly I will move to the Python interpreter. So here is my Python interpreter. So I am opening. I will take new file. I say save. First I will go with all the example of while loop, and then I will go with all the examples of for loop. So first I will go while examples. While example dot python. So I will write comment as while examples. So first what I will do, I will write a while loop without having any kind of else condition. I is equal to 1 while I less than 4 I is equal to I plus 1 print. So what I am doing, it's a while condition. So while condition is check I less than 4 or not. If it is true, then it will go into the loop, otherwise it will go out of the loop. It's a print statement. I, this one is an increment, we can call it as an increment of I, and this is the initialization of I. Initialization of I, say out of the loop, out of the while loop. So this is our while loop example. And now, as I said in the last class, so this execution what will happen? First it will check the I value. First I will write in the comment for the execution part also. Here I have a statement I less than 4. I have a print I. Then I have a I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to 1. This is my statements. So initially I become 1. Thereafter I less than 4 is true. Obviously it's true. It will print I. It will print 1. And I will become I plus 1. Means it will become 2. It will become 2. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Next I will become 2. Condition 2 less than 4 is true. I say true, and thereafter I have a printed 2 I, that is nothing but now it will become plus 1 is equal to 3. Now I will become 3 and condition also true. and I will print the 3, and then I will become 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So I become 4 and condition is false. When condition is false, I will come out from the loop, I will print it done, no increment is available, and loop is terminated. So loop is terminated. Now whenever I execute this program, my output would be 1, 2, 3 done. This is what our output of our program. This is how you need to trace any loop. I am not going to trace all the loops. I will showing this one example. Next you need to practice at your home. Now I will run this code. First I will say run module, save, okay. 1, 2, 3 done. That's it. 1, 2, 3 and done. These are the outputs of our code. Print statement is printing 1 in first iteration, 2 in second iteration, 3 in third iteration, and fourth iteration condition fail, false, then it will go to the out of the loop as a done. This is what loop without any condition. Now I don't want this 1, 2, 3 here. I want 1, 2, 3 side by side. Then what should I need to do? I need to take another example. Control S and I say no, saved here only na. Go to the Python 3 here I need to find some 2. So I want to print in this format. My requirement is that 1, 2, 3 after 10. Then what you need to do? You need to add some end keyword here equal to some space. You give space for each and every iteration and it will not end that particular line. So I will run this code, run module. So 1, 2, 3 done. So this is what happens with the end. That's a using of end keyword. And now use while loop with this. While else. So here condition is true. Say else block. Else print done. I will say print else block. Here I will get 1, 2, 3 and after that I will get else here block and thereafter I will get done in the next line. So this is our output. So first what does it do? First it will check a while condition and it will until condition is true this particular while block will get executed. Once condition is false when I become 4 then else block will get executed, that is else block, and thereafter end of the loop it will go to the printed done. This is what happens with the else block. So now I will say run module, save, okay. So I am getting 1, 2, 3 else block and done. This is while with the else. So previous example while without else and while with the else. Now I have a while loop with the control statements break, continue and as well as our pass. So for that what I will do, I will write if I is equal to say break. If I is equal to I say break, otherwise it will print this one I here. And I is equal to I plus 1. This block will not get printed because break is there, so it will go into the outside of the loop. I will get output as what I will get output 1 and 2 only, and thereafter I will get that. I will run this program. So run module. So I am getting 1 done. So 2 is also not coming because I value whenever I becomes 2, then automatically it's breaking. So I am getting only 1 only. So after initialization it will break. Clear 1 and done. So else block will not get executed now. So we will get only 1 and done. this is what happens with the break with the else. Now I will write a code of a continue statement. Control. So this is our block. P control N control S. Is to while continue. So while continue and enter, and here I say continue. Continue. If I is equal to, then continue, the loop will get continue and it will print I. So we'll check what will be the output of this code. So run module. Okay. So I'm getting only 1. After continue, I don't have any kind of increment. That's where it's stopping here. Yes. What should I need to do? I need to increment here also in the if condition. I plus 1. So I say run module. Continue 1. Continue. I is equal to I plus 1. What's happening here? While condition, while the continue. Okay, fine. So here 2 is skipped. Clear? So whenever I is equal to, I am going to skip the condition, and 1, 2, 3 I need to expect it, but 2 is missed because that particular iteration is skipped when I is equal to 2. Say while with continue, and if I say pass, control V, control S, and pass. So here I will do the pass. Pass means nothing will happen. I will get 1, 2, 3 and as well as done. So run module, save. Okay. Where is 2? 2 is missing because it's outside of the loop is. So don't need to do anything. So I don't require a pass. So what should I need to do? I need to do this statement here. So now we pass. Run module. 1, 2, 3 done. Clear. So pass statement will not do anything. Pass statement will not do anything. It will not. So set pass. Which will not do anything. Pass statement do nothing. So this is the example of all while examples. Break, continue, pass, and while else with the break, and so on. Now we will see all the examples with the for loop. So then I range 1 to 4. That means step value is default is 1. If your condition is beginning is 1 and end is 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. End is exclusive, so it will get 1 to 3. And I say print I. And later so what does it do? It will print 1, 2, 3 and after that done. Printing I value in each iteration. So I say run. 1, 2, 3 done. And you can also use this statement same as like as while loop, comma end is equal to S. So using end statement, it will print in same line. So that output will become now in this format. In the same line. The output will be the same line. run module, 1, 2, 3, done. This is how you can use the for loop with the range function. And if I want a for loop with the uh, for value in loop into VAL. So here each and every iteration it will take one character. Each iteration into one character from. So that's a sequence. Hello is a sequence. From this sequence it will print one character from each and every iteration. That we can call it as a for in loop. So we'll execute. The output of this code will be H, thereafter E, and thereafter L, sorry, small es, small e, L, small l, slash O, and then after I will get that. So this will be the output of this particular loop. We will run this code. I say run module. 1, 2, 3, that is the previous loop, and this is the second loop. Hello, done. So this is what happens with the for loop. Okay. So now it's a for loop, and now for in loop. Now we'll see for with the conditions, control conditions, break, continue, and as well as pass. After we'll see the else. Control N break dot py. For I in 1 to 6, if I is equal to 4, break and here I say print done. So break. So what I am doing, I am printing 1 to 5. Condition is 1 to 5. Start is 1. End is 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. And whenever I becomes 4, I am saying break. Otherwise print I. That means I will get 1, 2, 3 and done. Okay? And done. Output will be 1, 2, 3 and done. So I will run this code. So 1, 6 and done. Why? Where is why I am getting 6 here? For I in, sorry, I didn't mention the range here. Yes, range. Okay, fine. I in range 1 to 6. So this is slight mistake. Run module. So I am getting same output. 1, 2, 3 done. Clear? So this is what happens with the loop with the break condition. You can use a break with else. Whenever you use else with break, else will get ignored. If there is a no break, then else will get executed. Else print. I need to write else this one. Print else block. So here is a break condition is available here. A break, so else will not get executed. Break statement and else will be ignored. Else ignored. So that means now I will not get executed this else block. I will get same as it is output. Run module. You get 1, 2, 3 done. If you want to use a else block, then you need to remove this break. You need to remove this break and this particular statement also. So now whenever I remove these statements, what will happen? First it will check this condition. Until condition is true, it will print I. After completion of that, it will print the else block and then it will print the done. Means I will get output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then I will get output as a else block. Then I will get output as a done. So this is what happens with this code. So first it will check this condition 1, it will print 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once it reaches 6, it will terminate. Then it will go to the else block, it will print the else block. And after completion of this loop block, it will print the done. So we'll see whether we'll get output as it is or not. Run module. Okay. So that's it equivalent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, else block done. Okay, fine. Now we'll go with the continue. Yes. Continue Python. I in range 1 to 6 is equal to 4. Continue the I comma so here what I am doing here, so I am saying int 1 to 5. Start 1, end is 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. 6 is exclusive, that means end is 5. I am going to print 1 to 5, but whenever I becomes 4, I am skipping that particular iteration. That means I am saying continue. That means it will not iterate this iteration, that means it will ignore the 4. It will get output as 1, 2, 3, 4 will not get printed, 5, and I get done. This is how you can use continue with the for loop. So I will say run module. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5 done, and here observe 4 is skipped because continue skip one iteration and remaining all the iterations will be executed as it is. But where break, it will terminate from the loop. The loop execution will get stopped. Break. Now we'll see the pass example. For pass.py. Pass will do nothing. So I will write pass. Pass will do nothing. In the sense, all the iterations will get executed automatically. Break, it will terminate. Continue, it will skip one iteration. And pass will do nothing. That means all executions will be executed. All iterations will be executed. Then I will get 4 also. So this will be the output. So I say run module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how you can use pass with the for loop. Now I said in PPT there is a concept called nested loops. I forgot to keep the slide. So we'll go with the nested loop example here. So nested loop is nothing but loop inside the loop. We can call it as a nested loop. Loop inside the loop, we can call it as a nested loop. So we'll see one example with the for loop and as well as while loop. Both the things we'll see nested loop. We'll go with the for loop. Control S. Nested for.py. Nested for example. Nested for example. So now I need to write a for loop for I in range 1, 2, 3, for j in range 1, 2, 3. Print I into j. here whenever I have a nested loop, what will happen? It will iterate how many iterations here? N minus this one starting, that is nothing but 3 minus 1 2 iterations. Here also 3 minus 1 2 iterations. Total iterations are 4 iterations. Total iterations are 4 iterations. So these things we can call it as a, this is a rows and these are the columns. So this particular block we can call it as a rows, number of rows and number of columns, matrix example. So we'll see this how we can do the matrix in the example programs in next session. So this is we can call it as rows and columns. I have a 2 iterations here and 2 iterations here, and we'll trace this code. What will happen whenever I execute this code? I say what is that? Done. So here I will add some. Okay, fine. Nothing is required. So now I will trace this code to better understandability. So here, what are the things? I value I less than 3 is the condition. I less than 3 and j value j less than 3 is the condition, and enter I sub j to incrementations I is equal to I plus 1, j is equal to j plus 1. So these are the statements. So these two incrementations are default. I have a step value, default step value is 1, where I kept I is equal to I plus 1 and j is equal to j plus 1. And now initially I value is 1, I less than 3 is a condition is true. The j value is also 1 and j less than 3 is condition is true. First it will go into the outer loop 1 and next it will come into the inner loop. It will iterate first inner loop 2 times and then again go to the outer loop, check the condition. Clear. So now print I into j. So I into j is nothing but 1 into 1 is equal to 1. It will be 1. Here incrementation, is there any incrementation in the outer loop? No incrementation is happening because j is not terminated. So once it's terminated, then only I will get incremented. J is equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So now I is become 1, same, I less than 3 is equal to true, and j will become 2 and j less than 3 is equal to true. Here I into 2, I will get 1 into 2 is equal to 2. Now what will happen? Here no condition is there. J is what is j? 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. J is equal to 3. This is the second iteration program. So once in coming to the third iteration, it will become 1 and in true in inner loop. This one is inner loop and j is 3. So j less than 3 is equal to false. False. Once it's a false, it will not execute this statement. Now it will go to the outer loop. So that means it will go to the I range. It will increment the I value now. I become 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And now j will remains only 1. J remains 1. So now it will come into the inner loop again. So whenever it's a 2, I less than 2 is equal to 2. It become 1 initially. It's a false, sorry, 2. Now I into j. What is I here? 2 star 1 is equal to 2. And I becomes I less than, it's outer loop, no incrementation, and j will become 1 plus 1 equal 2. Now I remains 2 and I less than 3 also true, and j will become now I plus 1 2, j less than 3 also become 2. Now print I into j, that means 2 into 2 equal to 4, and here I will not get incremented, j will get plus 1 is equal to 3. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So once 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, here I will become 2 only, and this condition is true, j will become 3 and this condition is false. Means inner loop is second time is terminated. Inner loop is second time is terminated, false. Then I into j will not get executed, I will not get anything. And I is equal to I plus 1 also nothing will happen. And here get this one. So once outer loop is terminated, inner loop is terminated, then outer loop will get incrementation, that is 2 plus 1 equal to 3. I will become 3. So now when I is equal to 3, I less than 3 is a false. Once outer loop is terminated, then all inner loops also will get terminated. So I no need to execute anything, all the things are nothing. So that loop is, once outer loop is terminated, then everything is terminated. But when inner loop is terminated, then you need to go to the outer loop again. So that's what happens with the nested loop. Now my output will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Later, once all the loops are completed, I have a print statement as done. So I will get here done. Loop is terminated, I will get done here. So done is nothing but done. That's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 done. So final output will be output 1, 2, 3, 4 and done. This will be our final output from the above code. We'll see whether we'll get this output or not, so that you can understand easily nested loops. So before that I will save this file. I say save and I say run module. 1, 2, 3, 4 done. So it's a done. 1, 2, 3, 4 done, same as it is, whatever we have a condition. And now if you write a nested loop with using while, you will see the nested with while nested. First I is equal to 1 outer loop, while I less than 3 outer loop condition, and inner loop j is equal to 1 while j less than 3 inner condition. So this is outer loop and this is inner loop. Same as like as a previous, print I into j, have an increment of j is equal to j plus 1, and here I is equal to I plus 1. So after that I need to print it. So same output I will get. Output is same as it is previously output. So I can have output as 1, 2, 3, 4 and done. Tracing also same as like as previous example. So go to the previous example tracing and you can observe the example tracing, and this one is same as like as this example. So same code, just I have converted this code into the while. Output is also same. So I will run this code module. This is how you can write output a while loop with So 1 to 2 4 I am getting. So what I will get here? 1 to 2 4. Okay, fine. 1 to 3 4. 1 to 2 4. Okay, here also I am getting 1 to 2 4. It's 1 to 2 4. Okay. 1 to 2 4 is output. So this is how we can write a while loop with the nested. I mentioned one more example, step value example with the for loop. I will take one more example. This example is known as a nested while. Yes, while loop. So I will take one more example. Yes, for with step value. With step value. So I will take one for loop. For I in range 1 to 10, step value is start is 1, end is 10 minus 1 is equal to 9, 10. That is step value. I said print I, comma, equal to space. Is my cursor. Done. So this is my code. This is my code. So what I am doing, I am printing 1 to 10, 1 to 9 actually. 10 minus 1 is 9. Step value is 2. That means each and every incrementation I will get 2. 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Here I will get done. We will see I will get done or not. So run module. So this is a 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. Clear. So this is what happens with the nested for with the step value. Now one more example. Infinite loop. Infinite or infinite loop. Means it will not get terminated. So whenever the condition becomes true again and again, then I will get the infinite loop. The condition will get true again and again. I will get infinite loop. Loop.py. So we'll see with the while loop, and later we'll see the with the z loop. Clear. For loop. So I is equal to 1 while I less than 3. Print. So here what I am doing, I am taking I as a 1 is the initialization value, and here condition is I less than 3. Here I am printing I, but I am missing the incrementation. Print I is equal to 1. Missing incrementation. Each and every time I will become 1, it will print 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and so on. It will not get terminated. So I don't have any incrementation. So if I run this code, I will get output in this format. Here 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 only, it will not get terminated. So such kind of loops we can call it as a infinite loop. If I want to terminate this loop, Control C, keyboard interruption. So I want to make it as an incrementation. I is equal to I plus 1. So this is the incrementation. So if I run this code, now this loop will get terminated after condition meets false. So 1 to done. Less than 3, when I becomes 3, it's a false, then it is done. This is how we can write infinite loop with the while loop. We can write infinite loop with the for loop also. Control S, infinite for. So here is a for loop, infinite. So first what I should do, I in range 1 to 3, or 1 to 4, I say step value is 0. Here start is 1 and end 4 minus 1 is equal to 3, step value is equal to 0. So what I am doing here, I am taking I as a 1, step value is 0, that means I will become 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I is no increment here. The step size is 0, that means it will become infinite loop. So I say run, each and every time I will become 1. So step value should not be 0, obviously. We have seen that saying in the PPTS, value should not be 0. So I will take some other step value minus, so it will not meet this condition. So run module. So it's a done. So this condition is failed. I is equal to first 1 and later it's minus 1. It's a done. So infinite loop with for I hope we can't write. Okay, fine. We can't do with the infinite loop with for. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye. If you have any doubts, you can contact me through Google Class Meet class or in your WhatsApp or Google chat or Moodle chat. Okay, that's all for today. Have a nice day. See you soon. Bye.